Ever felt like you and your partner are speaking different languages, even when you're both using the same words? Or maybe you've had those moments when a tiny misunderstanding blows up into a full-blown argument? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Communication is at the core of every healthy relationship. It's the bridge that connects us to our partners, helping us share our thoughts, feelings, and needs. But when that bridge is shaky, even small misunderstandings can create big gaps. In this video, we'll explore practical strategies to improve your communication skills and build stronger, more meaningful connections with your loved ones. Stick around to learn how to truly listen, express yourself effectively, and navigate through even the trickiest of conversations. Let's dive in. So, why communication is key in relationships? Communication is not just about exchanging words, it's about creating understanding. Imagine trying to build a house together without ever discussing the blueprint. The walls might go up, but chances are they won't fit together properly. Relationships work the same way. Without clear communication, you end up with walls that don't align, and before you know it, you're living in different rooms. Think of communication as the glue that holds your relationship together. When it's strong, you feel connected, understood, and supported. When it's weak, you might feel distant, frustrated, and misunderstood. For example, consider a couple, Sam and Anita. Sam feels overwhelmed at work and starts coming home late, feeling too exhausted to talk. Anita, meanwhile, starts feeling neglected and wonders if Sam is upset with her. Neither communicates their concerns, and before they know it, a small gap has turned into a canyon of misunderstanding. Effective communication helps bridge these gaps, ensuring both partners feel heard and valued. What are some common challenges couples often face and how they can impact relationships? Number 1 is not listening actively. Take Sarah and David, for example. Whenever David talks about his day, Sarah often multitasks, scrolling through her phone. David feels ignored, which leads to resentment. The truth is, Sarah thinks she's listening, but her actions say otherwise. Active listening involves giving your full attention, showing interest, and not just waiting for your turn to speak. Challenge 2: assumptions and misinterpretations. Imagine Jane receives a text from her partner Alex saying, "We need to talk tonight." Jane immediately assumes it's something bad, and her mind starts racing with negative thoughts. By the time Alex gets home, Jane is defensive and anxious. But Alex just wanted to discuss weekend plans. Instead of assuming, Jane could have replied, "Sure, can you give me a hint about what it's regarding?" to prevent unnecessary anxiety. Challenge 3: emotional reactivity. Mark and Lisa often get into heated arguments because Mark feels criticized whenever Lisa brings up an issue. Instead of calmly discussing how to improve things, Mark reacts defensively and Lisa gets frustrated. The emotions escalate, and they both end up saying things they don't mean. Taking a moment to breathe and cool down before responding could help prevent these emotional flare-ups. Challenge 4: poor nonverbal communication. Imagine a scenario where Tom tells Maria, "I love you," but his arms are crossed and he's looking away. His words say one thing, but his body language says another. Nonverbal cues can often speak louder than words. Tom could make Maria feel more secure and loved by making eye contact, smiling, and using a warm tone. How can we improve our communication skills? Tip 1: practice active listening. Active listening is about being fully present in the conversation. Picture this: your partner is sharing a stressful experience from work. Instead of jumping in with advice, you nod, maintain eye contact, and say, "That sounds really tough. How did that make you feel?" This approach shows that you are genuinely interested in understanding their emotions, not just fixing the problem. Tip 2: use I statements instead of you statements. Let's say you feel neglected because your partner has been spending a lot of time on their phone. Instead of saying, "You always ignore me," you could say, "I feel disconnected when we're together and you're on your phone. Can we set aside some time for just us?" This reduces defensiveness and invites open conversation. Tip 3: focus on understanding, not winning. Imagine you're in a disagreement about where to spend the holidays. Instead of thinking, "How can I convince my partner to see things my way?" focus on understanding their perspective. You might say, I know you really want to visit your family this year. Can you help me understand why it's so important to you? This approach builds empathy and opens the door to compromise. Tip 4. Take a pause during heated moments. Let's say you and your partner start arguing over finances and the conversation becomes heated. Instead of continuing to argue, say, I think we both need a moment to cool off. Let's take a break and come back to this in 10 minutes. This helps prevent hurtful words and gives both of you a chance to think calmly. Tip 5. Practice open and honest communication. Think of Emma and Joe. Emma feels Joe isn't showing enough affection, but instead of keeping it to herself, she opens up and says, I've been feeling a bit distant lately. Can we find some time to reconnect this weekend? This honesty brings them closer together because Joe realizes how important it is to Emma and makes an effort. As we strive to improve our communication skills, here are some practical exercises we can implement to build a stronger communication in our relationships. 1. The daily check-in. Set aside 5 minutes every day for a quick check-in. Ask questions like, how was your day? Or, is there something you want to talk about? This keeps the lines of communication open and builds trust. Imagine a couple who starts every day with a 5-minute coffee chat. They find they argue less because they always know what's on each other's minds. 2. Reflective listening practice. During a conversation, take turns summarizing what the other person has said before responding. For instance, if your partner says, I've been feeling overwhelmed lately, you can reply, so, you're feeling stressed with everything going on. Did I get that right? This shows that you are genuinely trying to understand their feelings. 3. The feelings wheel. Whenever you're struggling to express yourself, use a feelings wheel to help identify your emotions. Imagine you're frustrated, but can't pinpoint why. By using the wheel, you realize you're actually feeling unappreciated because your efforts at work were overlooked. This realization can lead to a more honest conversation with your partner. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content on building stronger relationships.